watching ECLECTICKA. I'm Michael Seven Michael, and we've got with us today, we've got Charles Dixon, aka Sensei Vegan.
You didn't sing for us, man.
We got our man Michael. And we've got Drew. What's going on, Drew?
This is part 2, picking up right where we left off. And I realize now we have two Michaels now, which is not unheard of, but for a show, I think I'm glad we can differentiate and have 7, and we can have Michael.
Yeah.
And we know exactly what we're talking about. So just throwing that concept out there.
Oh, yeah.
And also, we've learned from the last episode that everyone that keeps Instagramming, Snapchatting, and whatever kind of... listen, Drew is not the master of the universe. He's only the master of the internet.
And I said not even that.
Oh, not even that one. Oh, man.
You don't want... You know Rick and Morty, how he's kind of like a mad god who doesn't really do anything right? Okay, I'm just the worst iteration of that, so you don't want me at the control for anything.
That's funny. That's funny. We are live. You're watching Eclectica, everything sci-fi, fantasy, gaming. So let's go right where we left off. A little bit of gaming news, and of course we got
Call of Duty
Ragnarok.
sucks. Let's move on. It sucks, everybody.
Next.
That's the end of the story, man.
That's it, huh? Just don't. Okay.
No, we're not even touching gaming. Call of Duty sucks. Period. End of story. End of sentence.
But no, so just dipping into that for a minute. Was anyone else out of us following BlizzCon? I believe it just happened. It was either this weekend or earlier this week. Was anyone following that?
No.
Charles?
No.
Okay. I kind of admittedly, I was up to other stuff, so I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. I know they did have a few, I guess, additions or announcements for Overwatch, because that's their cash cow right now. I'm thinking they might have introduced a new character, because I'm seeing all of a sudden, oh my god, my new main, and stuff like that. So let me see. We'll check. This happens every time that they announce a new character. All of a sudden, everyone's like on the bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
And poor girl May has been, I think, abandoned by a lot of her fans, which is very sad because she's an adorable character. But yeah, since none of us were really quite keeping up with that, I guess we could keep it pushing until I find out if we have a new character. Next circle. Anything else going on in the world of gaming, guys?
Nothing, man. Nothing.
What are you guys playing right now? Anybody playing anything at the moment?
The Evil Within.
Oh,
playing
Evil Within 2.
First one.
Yes.
I'm playing old stuff right now.
You're...
I'm just playing old stuff, man.
So...
Yeah. I'm waiting for Battlegrounds actually to come out. It's supposed to come out in December.
That's not the Star Wars one. Is that Battlegrounds?
No. I played the demo for the Star Wars. I really didn't care for it too much. Battlegrounds is that big online PC shooter. Mm-hmm. It's actually doing really well, and they're going to actually make it better for the console. So I'm looking for that. If anyone plays Fortnite is kind of like a ripoff of. I hate to say rip-off, but of Battlegrounds. But that's it for me. Old stuff.
Okay. I know one game, low-key, I was kind of flipping out about was the new Mario game, Mario Odyssey.
It's actually selling well.
The look of it is so great. And watching I've been seeing some Let's Plays online and stuff like that. Just the opening of that game, you see all right, first off, let me preface this by saying, growing up as a Nintendo kid, I remember when Mario was just a little, lame sprite that was just running, jumping stuff and hitting blocks. To see him now in this game, when you have he has all these facial expressions and you have this big, battle between him and Bowser, and it's accompanied by this big, effulgent orchestral soundtrack, it's just really amazing to take a step back and see how far that character has come over the years.
They've done well with the Mario games. That's one thing I can say. They've done pretty good with those things.
They've taken him all over the place.
Yeah.
And to see that there's still places where he can go and things that you can do with that character in that universe, it's just really good as a gamer just to see how, we've gone from point A to now.
Right.
It's really dope.
I agree with that. Yeah,
Anything
it's not they didn't come out, because it started out so basic. And the character had room to grow. You understand what I mean? And a lot of games can't do that. It's they came out with a couple games, and then it's in the ditch it goes. So, yeah.
Speaking of growth, we can actually use that as a segue. Why the hell not? So
Let's do it.
gaming stuff is kind of run dry. Thor Ragnarok. It came out this weekend. It's doing well, really well. I'm talking like it made its money back overseas before it even came out in the States. So it's box office wise, it was a success. Critically, I'm pretty sure it's been doing okay. I saw it Friday, and I have a few things I need to say about it. So I'm going to let you guys go first because I know I talk way too much as is.
Who's swinging first? Mike, you want to take this one?
I only have seen the trailers for it. I haven't seen much of it, but
Okay.
We're gonna
okay.
spoil it, man. You might want to put your earmuffs.
Earmuffs.
Earmuff it out, man. Seb, you
you
want to
guys
take the
talk
swing?
about it.
Let me go from what I could say of it. I like the intro when they started to come in. I expected something totally different, and I was pleasantly surprised because, pretty much what we've experienced when it comes to trailers is that, like, this is the whole movie. And I think Marvel did really, really well and does really well with not giving you the whole movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I like the humor in it, but it was a little bit too much trying to be like
Funny.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, it was. I'm
You
glad
know.
you said that.
Yeah, so that was unnecessary. And Charles, I know we spoke before about this a little bit. I did feel that they skimmed on the money a little bit when it came to the effects. It could have been a lot better.
There were some scenes that I looked at it, like when him and Odin were looking out over the ocean.
Yeah.
Man, that just looked like
Alright.
something out of Crawl, you know?
The thing about that is, it's just kind of
Wow,
Thor Ragnarok
that's one of my
kinda
favorite
weird in that
movies.
regard.
Thank you for even
I
bringing
love
that up,
that movie,
Charles.
though.
No, there are some shots in Thor which look amazing.
Yeah.
You have that like one shot of when you have like the flashback of all the Valkyrie and they're fighting Hela. That was shot beautifully. Like the effects that they used on that one were great. The designs, a lot of the character designs. Thor Ragnarok was their modern attempt at like the old 80s sci-fi action adventure things like Buck Rogers and like that was
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon, like that. And it shows in everything in the film, down to the soundtrack, and those parts I can appreciate. As far as a movie goes, though, or at least like as a Thor film, they were really doubling down on the jokes with this one, and I got over that kind of quick.
Yeah.
It's like let me preface that by saying, Thor Ragnarok. Ragnarok is the Norse mythology's apocalypse, where everyone, all of the Asgardians die. In most cases, very brutal, tragic deaths. Never in my life have I seen a more joke-riddled portrayal of wholesale loss of life than I have in this friggin' movie. What the hell? Everything had a punchline. Every scene had to have some semi-slapsticky moment in it. And it's fine. I mean, it's Marvel, and I like the fact that Marvel's not afraid to have humor because they can acknowledge how ridiculous and balls crazy some of their concepts are. But bloody hell, guys.
You gotta have balance, though.
Let me just go down the list. I'm sorry, Michael. I hope I'm not spoiling too much of the movie for you. I'm going to try to keep it honed. But we
can talk about
Odin.
that, I don't mind.
We got essentially the death of Odin, which is just kind of skimmed over. Right? You don't have really that much time to grieve Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of this character who dies. And then you're meeting Hela, right? Who, spoiler alert, is actually the first daughter of Odin. You don't really have any time to let that idea sink in because, again, it's jokes and action with them. You have Valkyrie's character, right? Who really had potential to be an awesome character and have a really good arc when you realize that, holy crap, she's an alcoholic and she's kind of just meh about everything because she's suffering survivor's guilt over the fact that her whole squad got yapped by Hela. They don't take their time to really sink into that or develop that character. And even the showstopper, like the big favorite of the movie, who was the Hulk, you don't really get much of his why or motive behind why he leaves and why he wants to stay in Sakaar. They have the moment there when Hulk is in when Thor is in Hulk's room, right? His quarters, his little suite or apartment or whatever. you have the setup for this really great moment of conflict and emotional depth with Hulk and Thor. He goes, Thor, bad friend, right? He says that because on Earth, he's like hated. People hate him on Earth. He's like just known for destroying stuff. No one likes the Hulk. So what does he do? He leaves and he finds himself in a place where he's actually accepted and revered and loved for who he is, which is on Sakaar. Yeah, he's doing it bashing dudes' skulls in, but hey, he's the Hulk. What the hell is he gonna do? Take up knitting? So you could have had this moment where he's just like, no, dude, I'm here and I want to stay here because finally I'm in a place where I'm accepted. They don't do that because we have to have more freaking jokes. Like, they bypass so much good, potentially good stuff.
They did. Can I say something? Now,
Yeah.
as far as the Thor movies go, I thought to me it was probably the best one. I didn't like the first one. I like the second one. I like this one. Going on what you said. Now, to me, they didn't really elaborate on anything. Hela popped in. Surtur popped in. Valkyrie, it was like they had these great characters, but it was just like they just skimmed the surface the whole time. So it was almost like, I'm surprised it didn't implode. It was almost like Spider-Man 3, when you had Sandman and Venom, where you get so many darn characters coming in where you really don't have time to say anything, or you can, but you don't. You understand what I mean? Like, I think people want to know about Surtur, because when most people saw Surtur, they didn't even know who the heck he was.
A lot of people have no freaking idea who the heck Surtur even is. And in this one, he was a very different iteration of Surtur than the comics. He's a very different dude. He's he's more comedic. He's a lot more jokey. Like, you open up with him just kind of sitting on this throne, and he's kind of, you notice he's like almost not crippled, but he's walking like someone who has arthritis.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? What's up with that? The whole Surtur thing. He's supposed to be crippled in this one? It makes sense later on, but he's introduced not so you could have a character, but so you can have he's kind of the Chekhov's gun, if you really think about it. He's the Chekhov's gun. You introduce him, and then he's just there to be used in the third act when everything is kind of like wrapping up. You need to be able to kill Hela at the end of the day. It was, I don't know, it had problems. And Hela as a villain, so one-dimensional, so one-note. And that sucks because Cate Blanchett's a good actress, and she's styling when she is Hela, but there's nothing outside of her reading off her resume every scene or explaining stuff that we already have seen. So it bugged me.
There was a lot of information, but nothing was ever elaborated on. And I think that's what you got to be careful when you start bouncing that many characters in a movie. But again, that is Marvel's formula right now. You know what I mean? It's the formula. It's the formula, but I feel at this one they might have added a little too much. It was too much. It was almost, in a sense, like I said, almost. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. There were some good things. Again, they could have softened up on the jokes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But man, just focus on something, man. Find a focal point.
They jump around a bit, but also too the fact that they downplayed this idea that Heimdall, meanwhile, our boy Idris Elba, right? He's putting in the work and trying to protect the people who are not being slaughtered by Hela, right? Again, wholesale destruction of an entire civilization that we're just gonna gloss over and add some fancy, cute jokes to. Meanwhile, your boy Heimdall's running through the freaking expanse of Asgard trying to save lives and keep those who are left from not being killed by Hela. Let's just barely acknowledge that at some point in the movie. That my dude's out here putting in work trying to protect people and save lives, but, Thor and Loki being cute. Come on, guys. Come on. It did some stuff that I thought was just kind of, it was a little too much. The humor was a bit much.
Yeah, especially for a Thor movie. I don't know, man. There's so much you can do with Thor, and they haven't done it yet, man. They haven't done it yet.
They could have taken it in a few different directions. And all that said to say, at the end of the day, I will still give this movie like a 7 out of 10 if I had to rate it. I still enjoyed it. It's a super enjoyable movie. It's fun. You just go in, you watch what goes down. You have some cool action sequences and, some nice little jokes or whatever. But I felt that for this movie, it being the third, and I think for a time they were trying to advertise it as like the darkest Thor movie.
That wasn't the darkest.
false. Whoever the hell said that, false. You need to stop lying.
Yeah,
But
I
it's still enjoyable.
don't see it being the darkest.
It's arguably the brightest one.
Yeah, I went in with low
Yeah,
expectations to the
I'd say
movie.
it's-
I know that sounds bad. I just lowered my expectations, and when I went in to see the movie, you know,
Yeah.
What you
Michael,
think?
you'll-
They might have said it's the darkest only because more fight scenes in this one.
Actually, maybe I'd have to compare, but I think when it comes to, if you're talking about tone
Mm-hmm.
or the first Thor, probably second darkest. It's even in the title, the Dark World or whatever it was, right? The second Thor movie that comes, and then you have this one going from like darkest to brightest and most happy, jovial. Again, still a fun movie. I enjoyed it. But come on, guys, ease back on the humor. For God's sake, does everything have to have a freaking punchline? They did this thing at one point in the movie. Again, I'm trying not to spoil too much, where they break the cardinal rule of the sequel repeat, where you have a similar scene, if not the same scene, play out. Just again, they're guilty of that, and they do that in this movie, and they did it for the sake of the joke. And I was kind of like, that was the roll your eyes in disappointment. I thought you guys were bigger than this.
are you talking about the
It happens in the Coliseum. I won't blow it, but it happens. And when it does, I'm like, really, guys? We had to repeat that one. Okay. All right. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. Please enjoy. I'm just one dude, just my opinion, but ease back on the jokes. Too many jokes.
Yeah, I think the jokes are good when it's balanced out. Like I said, when you have that when you got Iron Man and all the people together, you have, you mix and match, you play on each other. But Thor's not a comedian, man.
Yeah, I mean, and the humor for Iron Man in particular works just because my theory, Tony Stark is just as much a villain as he is a superhero.
Oh, he is. He's half douchebag and just
He causes
man,
just as many problems as he solves in those movies. Yeah.
But
So what else
I
we
don't
got?
know.
From where we left last time, I wanted to bring this up when it had to do with the Justice League. Rumors about having Green Lantern in this one. Do you think that is they're going to try to surprise us with that? I mean, we all kind of know Superman's coming back. As much as they didn't show him, it's obvious. But yet they are showing so many things with him. But do you think Green Lantern's going to be in it?
Guys?
I think it's a chance. I think that would make sense for them to do that, given that a lot of things are revealed through the trailers. I just don't know if they would do that, because a lot like Batman versus Superman, this Justice League reminds me of Batman versus Superman with the texture of everything and just the look of everything. So I kind of expect the same old in terms of the storyline and what you get from the trailers that kind of matches what you get from the movie.
Oh, I'm thinking they might pop him in there. They did reshoots, so maybe with one of the reshoots they added Green Lantern in there to sort of spice it up a bit. I don't know. I if it's done right, it would be really, really good.
I think Green Lantern and Superman showing up is going to be the entire third act of the movie. You got Batman, you got Aquaman, you got Wonder Woman. You have the other characters that you saw. But for Steppenwolf, I'm already predicting it. He's going to be too much for them. And then you're going to have Superman come out of the woodwork. And then we're also going to have Green Lantern. They're going to be like, who the hell's this guy?
Well, Steppenwolf is definitely in it.
Beg your pardon?
I said Steppenwolf, the Steppenwolf played by Syrian Hines.
Yeah, he's the main villain of this one, and he's gonna come and he's gonna do his thing. And the big moment in the Justice League movie, the third act, is gonna be Superman coming through, and this other new character, Green Lantern, who nobody's gonna know who the hell he is, and that's gonna set the stage for his solo flick. So that's gonna be the whole third act of the movie. That's my prediction.
Yeah,
Actually,
I believe
there's an actor, Michael McElhatton. He's down for the IMDb of the film, but they're not saying what characters he's playing.
What does it say?
It doesn't. It doesn't give the character. It says he's in it, and they give him the
He's
credit.
just there.
Yeah,
This
but
is
they're
the
not
person.
saying what character.
He could be like coffee, barista number 5, man. We don't know. Like, he could be anything if there's no name.
I
there.
think Alfred's coming, putting some armor on.
That would be actually pretty fly, man. I'm telling you, that would need to be in a Batman solo movie.
Right.
Again, preferably with the Court of the Owls, because there's moments
Remember
where
he came
Alfred
down in the
takes-
Batcave with the shotgun?
comes out with the shotty and he starts putting people down,
He was
dude.
putting
Yeah.
them down with that shotgun.
Starts
Alfred
putting
was
people
bad
down
back
with
in the
that one.
day.
Alfred is a G, man. Yeah, so
Well-
that needs to happen.
Well, they even gave a girl a credit as a schoolgirl. So he's
That's
got to be
just-
something important that they don't want people to know.
Or it could be nothing at all, and they're just keeping it like whatever. Just put that person down because they were in the background somewhere and they had.
Well, no, they don't do that for background actors. They wouldn't. He's got to be something important. Also, Julian Lewis Jones, same deal. He's there, but they're not, because they even gave some random Amazonian warrior title. So those two characters, if you look them up, they're playing something. Those two actors, but they're not giving what it is, and it's got to be something important.
We'll see. I don't know, because they did the same thing with I can't remember what the actress's name is, but she was supposed to be in the Batman v Superman movie, and
Okay.
there's this whole plot, this whole like B plot, where Lois Lane is investigating what went down at the beginning, like when they're in the Middle East, wherever they were,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like an informant for Lois, but they cut it out of the movie, so it didn't really matter anyway. So that might be another case of that, or you could be totally right, Seven. I don't know. We'll have to go there and see.
Yeah, I mean, they got people, reporters, sketch witness, they have some random people up in there,
Mhm.
schoolgirl something. So I'm like, okay, how come you didn't give these two individuals, so it's
What
just
else?
interesting.
Yeah, my question is, what else were these actors in? Because that's going to be a big thing too.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Sure. That's a
If
good
it's
question.
if it's a couple Randys that have
Mhm.
been like, in like maybe a Starbucks commercial or something, I don't know if they'll give them those important of a role as you think. But if they're known, who knows? They might be our new Green Lantern and whoever else they're trying to add in there.
Wow.
That'd be good to come in with an unknown as far as with Green Lantern.
I think that would work.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have like fan casting things, like person who would like ideally want to play those characters, but I think a no name would be kind of good.
Heck yeah, man.
It's-
And as
Yeah.
far as promotion-wise, whoever came up with, make sure you guys could see this as well, but the Can't Save the World Alone,
Yeah, I've seen those.
it's interesting. It's cute. Again, like Drew was saying the other day, I had to give everybody a cute little symbol. But whoever did that, whatever intern or whatever person did that, I know they got an extra check because I'm sure they thought they were clever.
Yeah. It follows the standard formula that you would see for trailers of its type, where you just have like the face of each
Right.
character and there's that little symbol because we introduced them, for no
Right.
reason in Batman v Superman, so we may as well use them for something.
Right.
We'll see. We got a couple weeks. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 17th, so it's
Right.
coming up soon.
Now, random news, changing gears a little bit. I know you guys are not super fans at this point, but The Walking Dead did make 100 episodes 2 episodes ago.
Fun episodes.
So for those who are fans, I'm torturing your face.
Coral!
So
100
over
episodes of Coral!
Carl, get in the house, Carl.
Oh man, you guys. I mean, at this point, it's like we just want to see how it's going to end, and I think it's going to end quicker than people think because Kirkman got a new deal with Amazon.
Yeah.
His deal with AMC is over, so two things are going to happen. Either they're going to, give it to all the assistants and bump them up. Hey, you got a raise. We're going to work on something else. Keep
Done
doing
that before.
episodes till we ride it out. Or they're going to end it quicker than we think.
It could, at this point, I think it's 50-50, but they have done that before with AMC. If you guys recall, initially the show was run by Frank Darabont,
Okay.
really good director. There was some nonsense that went on between them and AMC, and they passed it on to, oh my God, if you guys can remember the name, it will really help me out. I want to say it was, not ringing a bell, but they passed it on to essentially guys who worked alongside Darabont, and they took over after that. So if you guys can look up the showrunner was for that, that would really help. But they could do either or. They could do either.
Now, Michael, do you still watch The Walking Dead or no?
I don't watch it anymore. I saw like part of the first episode of this new season.
Okay.
And so I was really into it. But I was watching it with my cousins, and they just weren't interested, so we just watched something else. But I don't know how he's gonna end it. Like, I've read all the comics up until the last one, I guess. Like, he finished it, right, in the comics? Did he?
I'm not sure. I thought it was still going. If you're way more ahead of.
It's still
that than me.
going. Yeah.
Still
It
going,
is?
as far as I know.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know how he's gonna end it. I'm really curious to see that too, because it's probably gonna be different on the TV versus in the comic books.
It's already super different than the comics. I know Tyrese is still alive. Maggie's not. Is she not with Glenn in the comics?
No. Glenn died the same way in the comics.
That was the
the show.
same. I know Tyrese and Carol are like a thing in the comics. There's like the pairings and stuff like that are a lot different in the comics than they are in the show, which I recall.
I was so happy when they killed Glenn the way they did in the comics, because I was like, even though this is be very bloody, and I don't know if it's be even TV appropriate with the guidelines nowadays, but I was really happy that they didn't hold back.
They didn't hold back. Well, I heard, I still haven't seen that scene. I've seen like images and stuff. It looked like it was one of the more brutal deaths, one of the most brutal deaths in the whole series. And then you had my other boy who got ripped to shreds by the zombies in like a previous season. That was pretty gnarly.
On the revolving door.
Revolving door, man, that one haunted me for a minute, dude.
That was crazy.
Whereas this kid's like, I want to live. I want to build the stuff. I want to be an architect. Done. So messed up.
It's interesting too, because that was the formula, right? That was the formula for what, 6 seasons or 4 seasons?
It's when I was watching it,
As soon as you say there's going to be a tomorrow, you're basically on the way out.
The minute you start liking life and see hope, you're out of there.
You're out of there.
Especially, he got it. Yeah, our boy got it twice, because there's the second rule of if you have more than 3 male black actors in the show, some of them gotta go. They rotate us like crops. And
that was it.
It was pretty gnarly, and then your kid was out of there. It was so sad. It's so messed up.
Wow. Respect in the movies, man.
We'll definitely talk about more predictions next time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this new episode of ECLECTICKA. Drew, as always, doing his thing. And of course, Sensei Vegan, a.k.a. Charles. Michael, so this is your first ECLECTICKA experience. How you doing, sir?
Good. It's fun. You guys are great.
It's your show, homie. We gotta get you.
That's it.
And Michael Mazzuca, I say your
I wrote a
Mazzuca, right?
For,
how do I say your last name properly, Michael?
Mazzuca.
Michael Mazzuca is also a filmmaker as well.
There you go.
All your audio needs right here.
Yeah, so hopefully on the Sub Network, we're going to see some of his work shortly. I can't say some of the stuff he's working on, but he will be releasing that hopefully on the site and everything, so everyone can check that out, sevnetwork.com.
What was the review for? I heard there's something about a review that he had up.
Yeah.
Jigsaw.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Jigsaw. Okay, I still haven't seen that one. All right, for sure.
So yeah, everyone check that out. And I am Seven, and you're watching ECLECTICKA, and same time next week. Thank you so much.
Fellas, I'm on a run.